maybe would help some people out there. So I thought, yeah, let's go ahead and do it. So let me go ahead and just pull my chat up here really quick. And so we'll move that to a new window. We'll move that over there. And yeah, so there you go. So we're good to go. So now, if I'm not mistaken, man, we are up and running. And so, all right. So my name is Jim Schultz. I am your tour guide here for the weekly shred on F Cubed. I appreciate you guys, man. I appreciate you guys so much for checking me out. So, what is it going to take for you to go from fat to fit? Like, what is it really going to take for you to achieve the physique that you really want to achieve? Now, to make sure that we're all on the same page and to make sure that we are all working from the same foundation, right? I'm speaking to someone that probably fits a few different criteria. So number one, like I kind of alluded to a couple of seconds ago, maybe you've never been in shape before, right? Like maybe you've never been in really great shape before, but you really, really want to get there, right? Like you really, really want to, you know, turn the corner and do something you've never done before and, you know, take your physical fitness really seriously. I mean, you could obviously carve this up and phrase this a number of different ways, right? So that's kind of the first criterion, let's say. The second criterion, I think, is you actually genuinely aren't sure that you can do it. So you actually genuinely doubt that you can get there. And so if you are in a situation where you've never been there, then it naturally would make sense that you might doubt that you can ever get there. So those are kind of the first two criteria that you might, you know, that you might meet, that you might be thinking about. But the third thing is you want to build a really impressive physique. The third thing is you're like, all right, I really want to do this the right way. Like I really want to, you know, give it everything I've got and kind of see what I'm made of, right? Especially, I mean, maybe you're like me. Maybe you're around the same demographic that I am. I'm 39. I'll be 40 next year. And so for a lot of us, sadly, you know, we're not playing sports anymore. We're not playing, you know, professional sports. We're not even playing, you know, recreational sports. I mean, maybe a little bit here and there, but a lot of us were athletes in a former life, right? A lot of us were athletes in our youth, athletes when we were a lot younger. And so you're thinking, man, I would love to kind of channel some of those athletic abilities that I had when I was younger, and I kind of want to funnel that into some physique development, right? It doesn't mean that you're going to compete as a bodybuilder, right? It doesn't mean that you're ever going to step on stage or anything like that, but it just means that, man, you're ready to go all in and push all your chips in the middle on getting in great shape. So that's kind of what I want to talk about here tonight. And again, it's going to be kind of geared towards someone who might fit one or all of those different criteria. And so if you guys are checking me out, man, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, hit me with a hello, hit me with a what's up. I should be able to, at least theoretically, you know, I should be able to see all the comments, but you know, that's not always the case, right? It's not always the case that we can see all the comments that come through. But I'm looking at them now, and it looks like it's all live, it's all happening. So, all right. So, what do we need to do if we are going to do this? So I think you need three things. I think you got to have three things in place, and that's what we're going to focus on here tonight. So those three things that you need to have in place. So, all right. So I think that let me get myself situated here. So I think that the first one, the foundation, not even close. There is no close second. I think that you need consistency. So I think that I'm giving it all away. Crud. What is going on? You guys are getting all of my secrets before you're supposed to get my secrets. Man, I'll tell you, the internet is an amazing thing if you know how to use it correctly. And so let's see if I can. I don't know how to use the internet. So look at this, man. This is unbelievable. And so it's consistency, it's nutrition for life, and it's weight training. But let's pretend like we didn't see those slides. Like let's pretend for a second that we actually didn't see those slides. So the foundation is consistency. And hey Eric, what's going on? Dude, we're loving Florida, man. We're absolutely loving Florida. You know, it's God is good, man. He just opened up the doors, he made a way, and obviously I'm just super blessed to be able to work for a company like Tasty Trade where this is a possibility, right? where, you know, Tom and Christy and the powers that be, you know, they knew how important it was to me, and so they allowed it to happen, right? They made a way for us, and so I'm just so thankful to be kind of a part of that. And so cat's out of the bag, what slides? Good man. You're a good man. You're a good man. We need more people like you to watch the weekly shred every week. So yeah. So the foundation is consistency. So listen, like for real, like give me a couple of seconds here. It doesn't matter everything else I say. It makes no difference, right? Everything that's gonna follow, any strategies that we may lay out, any specifics, any slides you may have already seen, right? Just hypothetically, doesn't mean anything. None of it means a lick of difference if you're not gonna actually do it, and none of it means a lick of a rip if you're not gonna do it consistently over time. So that's why the foundation of the little pyramid, of the little translucent pyramid that we've built tonight, that you guys have already seen, it's gotta be consistency, man. Like, you know, people are looking for the magic pill. People are looking for the thing that's going to get them where they want to go, right? Especially if that includes, you know, building an impressive physique. Especially if that includes, you know, really turning the corner and doing something maybe you've never done before, right? Some of you know my story. You know that this is kind of, you know, the road that I traveled myself, right? Being young, you know, being overweight, being borderline obese, being made fun of and picked on, and all those kinds of things, right? I know from firsthand experience, right? Forget about research and forget about, you know, theoretical underpinnings. Like, let's just talk about, you know, actual doing things on the streets. Consistency, man. It is hands down, lock, stock, and barrel consistency. This is the most important thing that you need to apply to whatever you're going to do. And I don't care if you're going to do keto. I don't care if you're going to do intermittent fasting. I don't care if you're going to, you know, weight train or do cardio. It doesn't make a difference, right? If you're not going to do it day in and day out, then it really, really means nothing. And, you know, it's really interesting because a lot of people, and this is something that I really felt when I first started out, and this was a huge mental mistake that I made when I started out, so maybe this resonates with you. A lot of people feel like, man, I'm 30 pounds away, I'm 40 pounds away, I'm 50 pounds away, you know, whatever. You've got a lot of work ahead of you. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Let's call it like it is. You've got a lot of work to do. But a lot of people feel like what they need to do to actually do that work, to actually, you know, get the job done, is some heroic, Herculean effort that they just need to put forth and just go over and above their abilities, go way outside of their skill set, and, you know, do things that they're not even capable of doing. Like, that's how they've built it up in their mind. And so in a lot of ways, they're defeated before they even start. Because, you know, you get that jolt of inspiration, you get that jolt of motivation, right? You watch basically, you know, any of the Avengers movies, and you're like, I'm ready. Then when you actually go to do it, you're like, I'm not ready, right? I can't do this. And so we need to retool our thinking. And this is where consistency comes into play. You don't need a heroic effort. You don't need Herculean abilities. Here's what you need. You need to just do a little bit every single day. You need to just try to get a little bit better every single day. And some days you can't get better. Some days it's not going to be in you, right? Some days you're not going to be prepared to get better at all. And you know what? That's okay. That's absolutely okay, because we're human. We make mistakes. But if you apply just a little bit of effort, right? Just a little bit of intentionality, right? And you do it consistently over time, we're not talking about doing something that you can't do. We're not talking about being somebody that you can't be. We're not talking about applying something that you can't apply. We're talking about just pushing yourself a little bit each and every day. And so I really wanted to bring that up, you know, kind of within the foundation here tonight, because I think a lot of people really view it the wrong way. And not only is it wrong, it's actually polar opposite to what you need to do. And that can be very, very self-defeating, again, before you even, you know, come out of shoot off the starting blocks, right? You're thinking, man, I can't do this. It's going to require too much of me. And that's really, really not true. And so I struggle most with decisiveness. I can't build consistency without commitment to a strategy. So Eric, that's it. So I want to pause for a second and talk about what Eric just chimed in there on Twitter. That's awesome, man. So I think a lot of people get paralyzed by paralysis by analysis. That's what I meant to say. I found it. Finally found it. I was looking there for a few seconds. Finally got it. Paralysis by analysis. And here is, I'm going to speak very, very openly with you guys. Here's something that I really, really struggle with, and it's taken me a really, really long time to work through and to get better at. And I still have a long way to go. But I am very, very type A. And I am very much a perfectionist. I expect and demand a lot of myself when it comes to whatever I'm working on. And just based on your comment, Eric, I'm kind of guessing you might be in the same boat. Well, here is one thing that really, really was difficult for me to overcome. It was a huge hurdle that I had to jump over, and it took me a while to do, but I finally was able to do it. I felt for the longest time that, hey, if I don't have it perfect, like if I don't have all my I's dotted and my T's crossed, I'm not even going to start. I'm not even going to do it. And the reason why I'm not going to do it is because I really want this to be perfect. I really want this to be the best product that I can put forth. But then when I thought about it and I tried to improve on that, I started to uncover all these kind of negative things associated with that. It's like, yes, on the surface, right? The front that I'm putting up to the world is that of, someone who is a perfectionist, and someone who really cares about high quality work, and someone who does all this and all that, and all these superlatives that sound really good, right? But the truth was, and is, in a lot of ways, underneath the surface, I was just insecure. Underneath the surface, I was just afraid of failure. Underneath the surface, I just didn't want to try and fail and have people look at me and judge me and say, I told you couldn't do it. That's what was really going on. So I used the perfectionism as an excuse. So then I finally, Carol Dweck, if you want a great resource, Eric, Carol Dweck wrote a book called Mindset. And she talks about the fixed mindset versus the growth mindset. And, you check the book out. It's really, really good. Basically, we all kind of want to aspire to, move into a growth mindset, right? But when I read through that book, I'm like, man, I have a lot of elements of fixed mindset in me. I really do. And so that's one of the areas that, was difficult for me. Well, one of the things I finally realized, and this is where I started to turn the corner. And so, getting past my personal story, getting past, what I'm dealing with, to get to the actual question that you had, right? If you know anything about me, I can give a pretext or two before I head into an actual answer. The thing that really helped me turn the corner was when I realized that you can adjust once you get going. Like, once you start, you're not married to an idea, right? Once you start, you're not locked into a strategy. You can adjust, you can change, you can pivot. In fact, you can completely go the other way if you want to, right? You don't have to keep going the way that you're going. And, obviously my being stubborn and blah, 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 that was hard for me to handle too, right? But let's not go down that rabbit hole because we may never come back. But if you just remember, Eric and everybody else for that matter, that you can adjust. Not only is there nothing wrong with adjusting, but adjusting takes confidence. Adjusting takes experience. And adjusting actually and changing your mind is a sign of maturity and growth, because you are able to kind of call audibles, kind of as things unfold. So I don't know, Eric. Hopefully that helps you out, man. And so that's a good word, to be honest. Perfectionist and a procrastinator. Ooh, that's someday I'm gonna be awesome. Nice. Well done. Yep, fear of failure, most definitely. Dweck's work is really good. I'm quite familiar. There you go. Yeah, Carol Dweck, man. She's got some really, really good stuff. And so the foundation here is consistency. So all right, so let me give a quick visit over here to so on YouTube. Hey, Dr. Jim, your theme music is still playing. Oh my gosh, is it still playing? Dude, that is hilarious. It is still playing. Wow. So why don't we turn that off so you guys can hear me? That's hilarious. And so, wow, man, I was trying to do some different things tonight and I completely failed. It should be off now though. And so thank you for telling me that. Oh my gosh, man, that's hilarious. And so anyway, okay. So consistency is the foundation. All right. So the next thing that we really want to focus on is we want to focus on, let's go ahead and bring this up here. So we've got consistency as, so the next thing we want to focus on is nutrition, let me go back here. Man, this is a train wreck. Wow. We want to focus on nutrition for life. And here is what I mean by nutrition for life. So there's a couple of things going on here. So the first thing going on here is we need to think about nutrition for life in two different ways. The first way is you've got to think about something that you will actually stick to for a very, very long time moving forward. Not just for the next 8 weeks, not just for the next 12 weeks, not just for the next 25 weeks. We need to think about something that you're actually going to do for the next, however many weeks and months and years that you want to adopt this new lifestyle. That's the first thing that we need to think about. The second thing that we need to think about is you want something that's going to fit with your everyday life. So you want/need something that is going to, jive with everyday human existence life. Now here's what I mean by both of these. So let's take the first one. So what I need to do here, let me see if I can hop back on the soapbox here. I got that figured out, at least sort of. So keto, intermittent fasting, all alkaline diets. I mean, they're all out there, right? And they're all super prevalent right now. What almost all of them share in common is they have some fixed time element to them. Like, hey, I'm going to do this for 8 weeks. I'm going to do this for 12 weeks. I'm going to do this for 15 or 16 weeks or something of that nature, right? Which is not a terrible thing, because having a deadline and having something that you're driving towards can really, really push you, man. Know this as a competitive bodybuilder. Once the date is set, there's a tremendous amount of motivation that comes along with that. But you need to be careful in trying something out or committing to something that is not going to be sustainable for you for the long term. That is not going to be something that is going to jive with your everyday life. Because I am absolutely of the mind that, and Tasty Trader, yes, you are late. I think you're like 20 minutes late, but you have just missed an unbelievable amount of snafus on my end, with music still playing and slides looping and not doing any of the things I wanted to do tonight. But we're doing it. We're live, man. I still want to show up for you guys. And that's, speaking of consistency, we've actually built some up here with the weekly shred, so I want to keep it going. But I think one of the biggest problems that people make is they don't think about the exit point. They don't think about the dismount from the strategy, right? They don't think about, hey, how am I going to actually transition into everyday life? How am I going to actually transition into regular life with regular people, right, when this is over? Because anybody can do something for 8 weeks. Anybody can get really, really serious and go hardcore, balls to the wall, super low carb, super high cardio for, 13 weeks. Most people can do that. What most people can't do is find that middle ground, that balancing point where they can maintain a healthy lifestyle and keep the weight off and maintain, some level of fitness. Not your lightest and your leanest. I talk about this all the time, but nobody walks around at their lightest and their leanest. That doesn't even make any sense. But can you actually weave this into your everyday life? Can you kind of fold this in to your everyday life to where it is sustainable? And this is why, just to give you guys a real tactical strategy, and it's why, in like Full Throttle Fat Loss, I'm a huge proponent of macros. And of course, you guys can check out Full Throttle Fat Loss over there on livefcube.com if you want to toss me some of that internet money. That would be amazing. But even if you don't, take the macros idea and start using it. Start tracking macros, right? Start understanding the nutrition that you're putting into your body, right? You will become so much more aware of what's going on. You will become so much more knowledgeable about nutrition. But not only that, I talk about that all the time. I talk about all this stuff all the time. But the thing I want to focus on here tonight, I basically talk about the same 4 things, right? Because it really is only like 4 things. What I want to focus on here tonight, though, is macros give you all the flexibility that you need to actually do this sustainably in the long term. This is why I'm not a fan of keto. I don't have anything wrong with bacon. I don't have any personal vendettas against olive oil. And I certainly don't have anything against coconut oil. I love them all equally. But the problem is, most people aren't going to avoid carbohydrates for the rest of their lives. Most people aren't going to be able to live a life without Olive Garden breadsticks? And besides, what kind of life would that be to live anyway? And so when we think about these things and we extrapolate them out into the future, that's why I don't love keto. I don't really love intermittent fasting, kind of the two big guys in today's landscape. That's why I like something that's a lot more balanced. I like something that's just a lot more, it's just a lot more balanced. That's just the best way to put it. So that's why macros, I think, is the best strategy for nutrition for life. But the second thing, and this kind of leads right into it, the second thing is this, right? You've also got to think about your nutrition as it fits into your everyday life, right? Like keto, intermittent fasting, I don't know that that's going to work for a lot of people because you're going to have birthday parties and you're going to have weddings and you're going to have work functions, right? Not that anybody goes to work anymore, but I mean, theoretically, right? You could have work functions if we ever, get back into the office or the studio or whatever, right? These things could happen. And so how are you going to navigate these things? It just becomes extremely challenging. And so then what happens? You fall, you mess up, you feel guilty, you feel embarrassed, you go in this vicious cycle mentally again, saying, I can't do it, blah, blah, blah. And, you just go down that road, that rabbit hole, and it's pretty deep, it's pretty dark, it's pretty murky, it's pretty muddy. It's not fun. If you think about nutrition for life, though, from the front end, if you think about these things at the outset, it can really make things a lot better for you, on the back end. And so that's the second piece to the puzzle. If you really want to radically change your physique, if you really want to do this, and you've never done it before, I'm just shooting you straight, man. You've got to be consistent with whatever you do. And your nutrition, you've got to think about the exit point now, and you've got to think about something that is going to jive with your everyday life. Because if you don't, it's going to blow up in your face. It's blown up in my face many, many times in the early part of my bodybuilding career. And honestly, it wasn't until I kind of found macros that things started to stabilize for me, and I was able to maintain at least, a reasonable amount of my bodybuilding leanness, right? And I haven't been, back over 230 or 235. It's been like 10 years now. 7, 8, 9 years or something else, something like that. And so whatever I'm suggesting to you all is all the things I'm suggesting to you all are only things I've done myself. They're only things that I firmly believe in and stand behind because I've actually, kind of gone through them myself. And so those are the first two pieces. And so let's see. Perfectionists were cringing. Oh yeah. Tasty Trader is the perfectionist to lead all perfectionists. Tasty Trader, she is a perfectionist all her own. It's really something to witness, man. And so let me see here. Let's check out Facebook. Let's check out YouTube. Thank you. We still love you. Oh, thank you. I appreciate the love. I think I lost all my YouTube viewers because I had the music still playing, but I don't blame you guys at all. I probably would have tuned out myself. And so, all right, so the third one that we want to focus on here is we want to focus on weight training. So this is probably not going to be a huge surprise to you guys. This is probably not going to be a huge surprise to you guys at all. Weight training is the key. So why is weight training the key? Well, let me count the ways. So if you really want to build an impressive physique, this is the biggest mistake I see people make. This is the number one mistake that I see people make. From a physical standpoint, from an actual work standpoint, from an actual training standpoint, this is it. Not even close. People want to lose a lot of weight. And again, I'm talking about a lot, right? I'm talking about 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 pounds, right? They naturally gravitate to the elliptical. They naturally gravitate to the treadmill. They naturally find themselves on the bike thinking, man, I got to burn these calories, right? I just got to get my body moving and I got to burn these calories. Now, let me say something very important on the front end. That's not a bad thing, right? If we're choosing between that and doing nothing, you need to do that. If we're choosing between option A, get on the elliptical for an hour, or option B, sit on the couch and watch Netflix and watch, the country doctors on Disney treat these animals and rip off, donkey legs and do all these other things that's just absolutely crazy that my daughter is infatuated with, then we should be on the elliptical, right? We should be on the bike. We should be on the treadmill. We should be putting some kind of work in. But remember, that's not really who I'm talking to tonight, right? Who I'm talking to tonight is you kind of want to do this the right way. And that's not the right way. That's kind of the wrong way, right? That's the way that's going to lead a lot of that, or that leads a lot of people. It's not going to. That leads a lot of people into a really difficult spot where they don't know what to do. They're kind of trapped. It's kind of a bit of a cardio trap. It's like, man, I'm doing all this cardio. Why am I not losing any weight? Well, you've probably altered the hormones in your body a little bit. You've reset your body's cardio baseline. You're not building up any muscle to, burn off extra calories and, give you the hard, firm, defined, toned, look that you're going for, right? So you've kind of put yourself behind the eight ball a little bit. But for y'all, for my Memphis crowd out there, weight training needs to be the key. Weight training needs to be the third rung of the foundation, right? And the reason why is, again, you want to build an impressive physique. I can assure you, any impressive physique that you've seen, every single one, 100%, a tremendous amount of weight training went into that physique. I guarantee you, a tremendous amount of weight training work went into that physique. So why would we not follow the pattern, follow the pathway that's already been established for us? That basically just shows us what we need to do. It basically just shows us what we need to focus on. We need to focus on weight training. We need to focus on the resistance aspect of what we're trying to do, because that is what is going to take us where we're trying to go. Cardio is a tool. Cardio is important, right? I love cardio. I really do. I really thoroughly enjoy doing cardio. But you just need to use it strategically. And you just need to use it when it's time to use it. You don't want to do it from the jump. You don't want to do it right from the start. You want to save it for later when you need to do it. If you want to do a little bit at the beginning, that's fine. That's honestly typically what I do, just because I do kind of enjoy it. But you don't want to overdo it. If you're going to overdo anything, overdo your weight training, right? You shouldn't overdo that either. But if you're going to overdo something, right? If you're an overachiever and you just feel like, man, I feel like I should be doing more, do more weight training. That's going to have a much, much bigger impact, a much, much better result. It's going to lead to a much, much better result for you. So that's it, man. Those are the three things on the weekly shred tonight, that if you are really serious about going from fat to fit, these are the things that I really, really think that you need to focus on. So on Twitter, we got Eric saying, I'm trying to shed fat pounds. Should I focus on number of reps or max weight LBs? So number of reps per set, I imagine you're asking, and then like max weight LBs, so like pushing max loads on the bar. It's an excellent question. It doesn't have to be either or. It doesn't have to be black and white. It doesn't have to be, well, I go for the reps or I go for the weight. You should go for both. Not simultaneously, because you can't, right? You have to choose one. But you should build a program, a split that allows you to do both. So one of the things that I really like to do, and a lot of the, all of the programs inside of Full Throttle Fat Loss kind of share this general theme. I like to split up the training between power days and hypertrophy days. So the power days are where you're really focusing on strength. You're really focusing on poundage. You're really focusing on trying to get stronger and just move a lot of weight, which has a ton of positive benefits for everyone. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter how young you are. It doesn't matter if you're a beginner. It doesn't matter if you're advanced. Just trying to get stronger, relatively speaking, right? Stronger for you, which is going to be different than stronger for me. It's going to be different, than stronger for the next guy. But you have these power days where that's what you focus on. Then you have these hypertrophy days where you do add some more reps. You lighten the loads a little bit. You try to get some more volume done in maybe like the 6 to 12 rep range. That's kind of the sweet spot, where a lot of research has shown, it's highly effective at producing, muscular growth and producing, the gains that we're looking for in the gym to build that physique. I would say for me, without having my training log in front of me, I would say I probably spend 70 to 75% of my training inside of the 6 to 12 rep range, because it's just that effective. And it just gives you that really nice balance, that really nice harmony between, reasonable loads on the bar still, or on the machine and stack, whatever, and still being able to push a decent amount of reps in the sets. And so I would do both, Eric. I would absolutely do both. And so that would be my response to that. And then so that's Twitter. Let's pop on over to YouTube. Let's see what's going on over there. And so, oh wow, Full Throttle Fat Loss Works, lost 21 pounds in 12 weeks, 50 years old and shredded. Wow, thanks, man. So Relay Tech, ooh, that might be Scott. That might be you, Scott. I don't want to out you, man, so you don't have to respond. But that might be you, Scott. If that is, man, you're an amazing athlete inside of Full Throttle, man. You are exactly what we hope for inside of the course. And so, man, that's really, really awesome. So cool, good stuff. So I'm looking at Eric. Oh, thanks, you got it, man. I'm happy to do it. And so Facebook, I haven't really been able to get Facebook up, mainly because I don't know what I'm doing. And so, you know, maybe we had Facebook up last week, and I can't get it. I can't get it up right now. And so, yeah, I don't know, man. So if people are commenting on Facebook, I just have not seen your comments. I'll have to get to them after the broadcast is over here, and we're about to shut this thing down in a couple of seconds because this ship is burning up fast. But that's the weekly shred for this week. I really appreciate you guys so much. If you guys want to check out more content, livefcube.com is linked down below wherever you happen to be watching this, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter. You know, we do fitness stuff, we do finance stuff, we do faith stuff, and you know, give all glory to God at the end of the day. And so if you want to check out any of that stuff, that'd be amazing. You'll find a bunch of content there. You'll find videos, podcast episodes, free resources, not free resources, and so you can check out all that stuff. And if you guys want to share this with a friend or two or five, that would be amazing. Or just share it wherever you happen to be watching this. Retweet, share, you know, whatever. It would kind of help to get it out to more people. So I will be back next Thursday, hopefully with a better production for you all. But I'm still kind of getting set up here in the new studio, as you guys can see, with the background and the setup and stuff. So we're figuring it out. You know, little by little, we'll get there. And so, maybe turn the music back on. Oh, just at the very end? Yeah, man, let's do it. Let's dance it out here just for the last couple of seconds. So it should be back on now. And I'm such a bonehead that I didn't catch that on the front end. The reason why I didn't catch it, here, I'll even show you guys. So I did this last week. So I was able to get this countdown, this cool looking countdown thing to lead into the shred. I did this last week. Well, I had it set with before 3 minutes before I went live, and then all of a sudden I unplugged my mic and everything just blew up. Like I had to start over, so I'm like, I can't start over. So, you know, I was gonna do that, and the cool thing about doing that is while that's counting down, you guys can dance it out to some of my, you know, goofy music, and then I can get everything ready in the background. And so I wasn't able to do any of that, so that's part of the reason why I was kind of unprepared here. But you know, we don't need to look at that anymore. But yeah, this song is kind of funny. I use it in a lot of my YouTube videos, just because I think it's kind of quirky sounding and just kind of goofy. So anyway, it looks like that's it, man. So yeah, so I think we're good. I think we're good to go, and that's the weekly shred. You guys are amazing. If there's anything I can ever do to help you guys, just let me know. You can find me on social media or find me through the channel that you happen to be watching this, and just let me know, and we will see you guys next time.